Ether hitting its highest level since June 20th today. Many investors are waiting for spot Ether ETFs to start trading as soon as tomorrow. Joining us now is Hunter Horsley, CEO of Bitwise Asset Management. Their ETF is expected to trade tomorrow. Is that the plan?
That's the plan. The word is just in. The Bitwise Ethereum ETF, ticker ETHW, will begin trading tomorrow morning at the market open.
Okay, so what does this mean for this market? When we talk about spot Ether ETFs, do you expect similar inflows to what we've seen with Bitcoin, or given the fact that Ethereum has a staking aspect to it, it's sort of held maybe perhaps for different reasons that this could play out differently?
I think it'll be a historic launch, but I think it'll play out differently. You know, a lot of investors view Bitcoin as digital gold, a store of value, whereas investors view Ethereum more as a technology play, sort of in the same way that NVIDIA is powering AI. Investors view Ethereum as powering Web3, that's stablecoins, tokenization, DeFi. And so I think it's a bit of a different story. And so reception could be different from investors, but I think it'll be a historic launch as Ethereum finally is available to a broad set of audiences through the ETFs.
Hunter, if we look at that chart of Ether, say over 5 years, it's been incredibly volatile. So, I mean, it's one thing if you got into it before 2020, great for you. But right now, what's the thesis? We've been talking during this show. We understand maybe the AI thesis in the U.S. around names like NVIDIA, the hyperscalers, or in India, the youth demographics thesis. What is the Ether thesis that perhaps equals those?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I have to say, when we got started at Bitwise 6 years ago, I didn't have nearly as much gray hair. So I know what you mean when it comes to the volatility. I think that the big picture thesis, so Ethereum today is valued at maybe 1/8 of how Microsoft is valued market cap wise. And the thesis behind it for many investors is that there is a new version of the internet. People refer to it as Web3. And Ethereum will be the underpinning that applications and databases and services run on. And so in the same way that if you as an investor could buy, say, a chunk of Windows or a chunk of iOS, the operating systems that software runs on, that's how people view Ethereum, which is as Web3 and things like stablecoins and tokenization and DeFi develop, you have a chance to participate by owning the underlying platform. And investors think that could be a lot bigger than the value of any one single company like Microsoft, even though Ethereum today is valued smaller than those companies.
Do we need, though, to hear another exciting storyline for this? Because before we were talking about metaverse, we were talking about Web3, and it kind of didn't pan out.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, I think that thinking about Ethereum as a technology is a really helpful way of making sense of all of this stuff. So if you can rewind back and think back to when the iPhone came out in 2007, you know, for the first year or two, I had a BlackBerry. You may have had a BlackBerry, John. I think a lot of us said, do we really need this thing? And we didn't get Uber in the first year. We didn't get TikTok and Snapchat and WhatsApp in the first year. We didn't get it in the second year or the third year. Early on, we got Google Maps, and that was useful. And then over time, developers innovated on new applications, and that brought in more and more users. And so I think it's a typical new technology platform story where you'll see some early applications that really resonate. And in Ethereum today, that stable coins did $3 trillion of US dollar settlement in the last quarter alone. That's more than PayPal, that's more than MasterCard. And there are other things that have to be explored. But today there are over 2 million apps on the iPhone App Store, and maybe only 40 or 50 that the average person has downloaded. And I think similarly, you'll have to see in the Web3 space a lot of shots on goal and only a few that'll come to fruition. But we're seeing the developers trying, we're seeing the early use cases resonating, and I think that gives people the view that this is a high growth opportunity.
Okay, Hunter Horsley, we'll be watching this when these ETFs, including yours, start trading tomorrow. And then, of course, John, we've been talking about policy and election impact.